Hello everyone, this is Ma'am Jessa RDS, grade 9 science teacher. Today I will discuss to you about heredity, the non-Mendelian genetics. Are you still confused about how billions of individuals do not possess the same characteristics as physical features like the others? Still confused about the fact that siblings and even twins are truly different from one another? Probably you will think that this is because we have our basic unit of heredity. Well then, you are right. We have the unique genes that we inherited from our parents. So that's the reason why even twins, they are not exactly alike. That is because we have unique genes. Genes and heredity were already introduced in your science aid, as well as Gregor Mendel as the father of genetics, right? If you can still remember in your science aid, your grade 8 science teacher discussed the Mendelian genetics. Gregor Mendel's work on the basics of genetics was hailed as a breakthrough. It was his work that the other scientists could reliably predict and describe what was happening when two organisms with known traits were bred to produce offspring. Gregor Mendel introduced the dominant and the recessive trait. During this promising time of Mendel, things were going great until scientists noticed something funny happening. Not all the traits that they predicted in test crosses panned out as expected. What could be the explanation? Was Mendel wrong? Well, it was concluded that Mendel was correct in his ideas, but the big picture of genetics is a lot more complicated. Mendel described the first simple part of a huge, shifting puzzle. He gave us the tools to understand the basics of how genetics work, but scientists had to figure out what else was happening. Sa genetics, hindi lang siya nag-evolve dun sa Mendelian genetics. There are other things that is yet to be discovered by the scientists. To understand fully what was meant funny by these other scientists, you will now explore ideas beyond Mendelian genetics. Are you ready? Then you should be. We have two lesson objectives. First, explain incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple alleles, and sex-linked traits. Second, illustrate using Punnett square a cross on incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple alleles, and sex-linked traits pattern of inheritance. So what is non-Mendelian genetics? Non-Mendelian genetics are any inheritance patterns that don't follow one or more laws of Mendelian genetics: law of segregation, law of independent assortment, and law of dominance. So these are the laws of Mendelian genetics. So non-Mendelian genetics, they don't follow these laws. Some inheritance patterns of non-Mendelian genetics are the following: incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple allele, and sex-linked trait. But before we discuss further about this non-Mendelian genetics, let's have a look on the definition of term. Allele. Allele is a different form of a gene that controls a certain trait. Punnett square. It is the method by which one can determine the possible genotypes and phenotypes when two parents are crossed. Phenotype. It is an individual's observable traits such as height, eye color, and blood type. Genotype. The genetic constitution or genome of a cell, an individual, or an organism. The genotype is distinct from the expressed features or phenotype of the cell, individual, or organism. So, let's proceed now to incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance, it is present when an offspring resembles a mixture of parents' phenotypes. Offspring will have a visible trait different from both parents. In other words, in this type of inheritance, there will be a newly created form of an individual that is highly different from the parent. An example of incomplete dominance is the 4 o'clock flower plant. Beside is a sample cross involving incomplete dominance using Punnett square. RR is the allele for red flower plant, is crossed with white flowered plant. So uppercase W is the allele for a white flower plant. The offspring are all RW, which has a phenotype of pink flowered plant. So in this cross, we have here an example. The parent are the pure red plant with an allele of RR, homozygous RR, and homozygous W. That is, the phenotype is white. So the possible offspring is 100% pink. And the alleles for pink are RW. So how are we going to solve for this? So just write the alleles of the parent. First parent in the upper portion and the second is on the side. So just copy their alleles on the first box. Look at the allele on the upper portion, which is R. So you're going to write R. Next is look on the side, which is W. So for the first box, R, W. So same process with the second box, third box, and the fourth box. So that's how it came up with the 100% pink flowered plant. In incomplete dominance, it is only the phenotype that is intermediate. The red and white alleles remain separate and distinct. Half the gametes of the pink 4 o'clock carry the allele for red and half carry the allele for white. Therefore, the genotypic ratio also becomes the phenotypic ratio. So in our example kanina, we have the red and the white flower. Okay, take note class that that is the allele for red and W is the allele for white. So the result kanina is 100% pink and the allele for pink is RW. So that is incomplete dominance. The offspring will have a separate and distinct phenotype. Diba? Sa parent niya is red and white. So, walang namana sa ng anak. So, ang sa anak is meron na-produce na another phenotype which is the combination of red and white. And that is pink. Another example, if we will cross the black and white. Okay, we have the homozygous black and the homozygous white. Example lang ito. So in incomplete dominance, the possible phenotype of this offspring is, the allele is BW. So BW, that is the combination of black and white. So in colors, if you combine black and white, the resulting color is gray. Okay, so walang black, walang white, but a mixture of the phenotype of black and white, which is gray. Okay? Another example. In 4 o'clock plants, R is the allele for red color and W is the allele for white color. 2 pink-flowered 4 o'clock plants were crossed. Show the possible outcome of the cross between 2 pink 4 o'clock plants by using the Punnett square. So don't forget, the alleles R stands for the red color, W for the white color, and RW for pink. So let's see what is the possible outcome between the cross of 2 pink 4 o'clock plants. To solve for this one, first step is write or draw a Punnett square. Please bear with my drawing and my handwriting since it is so difficult to write using a mouse. Okay, we have now a Punnett square. Next step is write the alleles for the parent. First parent on the upper portion. So it is 2 pink flower man siya. So RW. The second parent on this side. Another RW. So cross between 2 pink flowered 4 o'clock plants. So what could be the possible phenotype of their offspring? So let's fill in the boxes inside. So look at the upper portion. The allele is R and on that side is another R. Second box, the upper part is W and the side inside is R. So in alphabet, R comes first before the W. So we are going to write first the letter R. So mali siya kapag WR ang inyong isusulat. It should be RW. Now, the third box, just look on the upper portion. The allele is R. Then the side is W. And the last box, up is W. Side is also W. So, this is the result. As you can see, there is only one RR. Genotype is RR. So, RR, what the phenotype of this is color red. So, pila ka percent ang RR? Since only one lang siya, it is only 25% chance na red ang phenotype. So, 25% yan na. That is color red. Oops, ang hirap sumulat. Next is RW. We have 2 RW. So, since it is 2, percent niyan is 50. 50%. Allele for pink is RW. Okay, RW pink. Yan. And the last one, we have the genotype WW. We only have 1. So, ilang percent yan? Basta 1, it is 25%. Kapag kadalawa, 50%. If it is 3, 75%. If 4, pareho sila lahat, 100%. So, allele W, its phenotype is white. That's it. So, the possible outcome of the cross between 2 pink 4 o'clock plant is 25% red, 50% pink, and 25% white. Okay, so that's the incomplete dominance. Now we will proceed to codominance. So what is codominance? Codominance, it occurs when two versions or alleles of the same gene are present in a living thing and both are expressed. Offspring in this type of inheritance has a noticeable phenotype of both parents, or in other words, the visible traits of each parent are both obvious in their offspring. So, opposite codominance is opposite of incomplete dominance. Kanina, in incomplete dominance, wala tayong makikita na same same phenotype niya sa kanyang parent. Ang parent and an offspring, they have different phenotypes. Here in codominance, nai-express ang phenotype ng both parents. So example, we have the black rooster, okay, mated with the white hen. So its offspring, obviously, ganito ang kalalabasan. Black and white chicken. You can observe this in your chicken, sa mga dogs, di ba? Kung ano yung kulay ng kanilang parent, lilitaw talaga siya sa kanilang magiging anak. That is codominance. So another example, we have here the cow or the bull. Beside is a sample cross involving codominance using Punnett square. Our red bull is mated with a white bull. Again, class, our allele for red bull is homozygous R and for white bull is homozygous W. The offspring will be 100% spotted red and white bull, where the skin colors of the parents are both present in their offspring. So, dito na, in our example, in codominance, the red bull is mated with a white bull. So, in codominance class, same process pa rin. We will use the Punnett square. Just copy the allele sa kanilang mga parent. So, the first box, R, we have the R, W. So, dyan galing. Second, we also have the R, W. Third, R, W. Fourth, R, W. So, 100% pareho sila RW. Unlike incomplete dominance, kung incomplete dominance to, red and white, ang offspring magiging pink. But since this is codominance, lilitaw yung kulay ng mga parent niya. So, the result is 100% spotted red and white. So, makikita niyo sa picture, ang body ng bull is white and meron siyang spot na red, which is nakukuha niya sa kanyang isa pang parent. Let's take another example. We have the brown and white goat mated with the pure white. So what will be the possible outcome between the brown and white and pure white goat? First step again, draw a Punnett square. Pwede kayong sumabay sa pag-answer. Okay, next is write the alleles for the parent. First parent is BW. That is brown and white. Oops, B. Sorry, it's letter B. Then dito na side is W. Another allele for parent is W. W. Next step, let's fill in the 4 boxes inside. So just look at the allele, the upper portion, that is B. And on this side is W. Second box. Okay, nasa ibaba niya is W. Side is also W. Third box. Up is B. Side is W. And the last box up is W, side is W. Ayan. After that, we will interpret the alleles or the genotype. First, we have 2BW. Since it is 2, that is 50%. Okay, 50% BW, its phenotype is brown and white. So 50% chance that their offspring will have a phenotype of brown and white. Okay, and another is dalawang W pa rin, homozygous W. So 50% pure white. Yan. So that's how you're going to predict the possible phenotype of the offspring in codominance. So the breed between brown and white goat and pure white, meron siyang 50% possibility that their offspring is brown and white, and another 50% that the phenotype of their offspring is white. Now we will proceed to multiple alleles. Multiple alleles, it occurs when there are four or more possible phenotypes for a particular trait, then more than two alleles for the trait must exist in the population. Multiple eye colors in Drosophila. Drosophila is also known as the fruit flies. So fruit flies, they have multiple eye colors. We also have four colors in cats and rabbits. Diba in our cats, hindi lang siya dalawang kulay. Merong mga cats na 3 or more colors yung fur niya. So these are just some of the examples of multiple alleles in animals. In humans, the best to cite as an example for multiple alleles is the blood type. Blood type exists as four possible phenotypes. We have the blood type A, B, AB, and O, and three alleles, which are the allele A, allele B, and allele I. So how is this possible? Individually, we have just two of the three blood alleles in our genotype. One from our biological mother, and the other one is from our biological father. The alleles that code for each blood type are as follows. So look at table 1, the ABO allele. So these are the ABO allele. We have first the allele A, that is coded blood type for type A. Allele B, that is for type B. And allele I, that is the code for type O. These alleles are also called the ABO alleles, which controls the main blood types. Blood type A, B, AB, and O. With these three alleles, 6 combinations in creating a genotype are possible. So these are the possible combinations from those three alleles. First combination, we have the two allele A. So allele A and allele A, homozygous dominant. Its resulting phenotype is type A. The second combination is the heterozygous allele A and allele I. So once na mag-combine si allele A and I, its phenotype is type A. Okay, if you can still remember, allele I, code siya for blood type O. So bakit type A ang result niya? It is because allele I is recessive. Okay, the third combination, we have the homozygous dominant allele B. Phenotype is type B. Fourth combination, Heterozygous, allele B and allele I, its phenotype is blood type B. Same pa rin sa type A kanina, allele B and I, since recessive si I, so ang result niya is blood type B. Number 5, we have heterozygous allele A and allele B. So once mag-combine si alleles A and B, its resulting phenotype is type AB. So they are codominant, si allele A and allele B. And the last combination, the homozygous recessive allele I. So dyan lang lalabas si blood type O. Once na homozygous recessive allele I. So example, identify the possible blood type of a child if his mother has type O, homozygous recessive allele I, blood, and his father has blood type A, that is homozygous dominant allele A. So ito yung allele ng blood type A ng kanyang father, and this one is sa kanyang mother. So we are going to determine the possible blood type of their child. So again, first step, draw a Punnett square. Just don't forget, class, the phenotype and the genotypes of the blood type para hindi kayo malito. Okay, second step, write the alleles of the parent. First is sa mother. Okay, pwede dito sa side, lagay natin. Sa mother is allele I, homozygous, recessive. And sa father is blood type A, its allele is homozygous, dominant allele A. Okay, next, let's fill in the table inside, or the box inside. First box, look at the upper portion. Ang allele niya is allele A. So, copy nyo lang allele A. And on its side is allele I. Yan. Second box, upper allele niya is allele A. And on its side is allele I. Third box, upper allele, allele A again. Side is allele I. And the last box, we have allele A on the upper part and allele I on the side. After that, we are going to interpret these genotypes. So we have here, pareho sila lahat, apat, allele A, I. Ito ang resulta. So once pareho, apat ang lumabas, its percentage is 100%. So 100%, the genotype is allele AI, its phenotype is blood type A. Yan. So that's our answer. The possible blood type of a child with a mother which has a blood type O and a father has blood type A is 100% blood type A. So since recessive man ang allele ng type O, hindi talaga siya lilitaw kapag ipe-pair siya natin sa dominant na allele A. Okay? Now, the sex-linked traits or the sex-linked inheritance. Sex-linked inheritance is a mode of inheritance in which a gene responsible for a specific trait is located on a sex chromosome, either X for the female or Y male, resulting in sexually dependent inheritance of the trait. The term sex-linked generally refers to traits that are influenced by genes on the X chromosome. This is because the X chromosome is large and contains many more genes than the smaller Y chromosome. In X-linked disease, males are usually affected because they have a single copy of X chromosome that carries the mutation. The effect of the mutation in females may be covered or hidden by the second healthy copy of the X chromosome. So, in the X-linked disease, mas prone yung males because, diba kung ma-remember nyo, ang chromosome ng male is X and Y, while sa female is XX. So once na ang X chromosome ng male ay magiging infected ng X-linked disease, automatically lalabas siya sa male. Unlike sa female, since dalawa ang kanyang X chromosome, kapag isa lang yung may ang carrier ng X-linked disease, hindi siya lalabas sa phenotype ng female. Pwede pa siyang maitago. Pwede lang kapag meron siyang X-linked disease ang female, magiging carrier lang siya. Pero saka na yun lalabas yung disease once na ang dalawang X chromosomes na ng female ang mai-infect. Okay? An X-linked trait can be categorized into X-linked recessive and X-linked dominant. X-linked recessive is a mode of genetic inheritance by which a recessive gene, written in lowercase, is carried on the X chromosome, while the X-linked dominant is a mode of genetic inheritance by which a dominant gene, written in uppercase, is carried on the X chromosome and is less common than the X-linked recessive. So if you can still remember the word recessive and dominant. So recessive siya. Ang clue is it is written in lowercase or small letter. Okay, the trait is dominant if it is written in the upper case. The table below is sample information on an X-linked recessive condition, the red-green color blindness. Okay, in table 3, the red-green color blindness, an X-linked recessive. So take note on the word recessive. So yung gene na naka lowercase or small letter, yan yung may carry na disease. So in female, first is yung genotype niya na XG. So G dominant recessive, that is normal vision pa lang siya. Normal pa yung parehong X chromosomes niya. Second example here na genotype ng female, XG, then X na meron ng small letter or the lowercase na G, which means this X chromosome, meron na siyang kine-carry na X-linked disease or the disease for the red-green color blind. So the resulting phenotype for this female, normal vision but a carrier of the gene. Since infected na yung isang chromosome niya, carrier na siya. But normal pa rin ang kanyang vision. The third genotype, ayun, look at the X chromosomes. Pareho na siyang may gene ng pagiging colorblind. So, the phenotype, red-green colorblind vision. So, si female, dyan na siya magiging colorblind since yung dalawang X chromosomes niya ay infected na or meron na siyang gene sa pagiging colorblind. Now, in male, so the normal chromosome sa male, we have the XY. Phenotype niya is normal vision. Now, once ang nag-iisang X chromosome ng male ay magkakaroon siya ng gene for colorblind, ang resulta niya is red-green colorblind vision. Automatically, si male na merong gene for colorblind sa kanyang X chromosome ay magiging colorblind. So that is why the colorblindness mas prone siya sa mga male. So, konti lang yung mga female na colorblind. Most of them are male. If a female is homozygous recessive for such a gene, she is a red colorblind. Also, if a female has only one chromosome with the allele for colorblindness, she becomes normal but can pass on the trait to her offspring. She is therefore a carrier of the trait. So in the second genotype, si female normal vision siya but carrier na siya ng gene na may colorblind. So if malaki ang chance na mapapasa niya itong X chromosome niya na may colorblind na gene sa kanya magiging offspring. Since males have only one X chromosome, the gene for colorblindness when present in the male will always be expressed because it does not have an allele to hide or prevent its expression. Thus, the male will be colorblind. So, dito sa ikalawang genotype niya. Since isa lang ang X chromosome niya, hindi na ma-hide yung gene for colorblind. Lalabas na siya sa mga male. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. If you have questions, just PM your science teacher. Thank you very much. God bless.